when you're not ready to accept your blessings, when you're not ready to accept the opportunities that are coming your way, you start to fumble them, and there's really no way to get that back, right? Because even Big Sean, wrong line. The call went straight to voicemail. I don't get another chance with her. I don't get another chance with success. So you really got to stay on that path and make sure you have the right people around you. That way, you're able to accept those blessings and those opportunities at the right time.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
Ask me, can I love the same?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today, man, we got a special guest. He's coming from here from Georgia, originally from Virginia. Man, he's been all over the place because you even lived in Tennessee at one point. Your recent hit, Real, it hit 3 million views. It probably went up even more since I saw
Man,
that. So,
man,
shit,
appreciate it.
go ahead and
Appreciate it.
introduce yourself, bro.
Hey, man, you already know. Trub, aka The Iron Show, man. Glad to be on Sad Boy. You know what I'm saying? Having a good time, video shoot, shows, and coming down to the shop, it's been an exciting weekend run, from everything I've been doing. So, super excited, been a lot of work coming from, like I said, from Memphis and seeing how everything I built up to now. So it's been a blessing.
And you were just out in Austin doing a show with Project Pat, right?
We had a sold out show, man. Thursday, man. It was amazing. I love Austin. I've always loved Austin. When I went down by Southwest about 2 years ago, and I loved it then because they had no idea what music I was singing, and they showed so much love. So to see it now and then to go there and have them react the way they did is amazing.
You've been doing music for a long time, right? You really got inspired when your grandma bought you that karaoke machine. You were able to build your way up ever since then, right?
Oh yeah,
Seeing the progress you've made, how does that feel?
man, I just be really leaving it to God, man, because I be like, man, it's crazy because I got it out the mud. Like ain't nobody really give me nothing. Like I ain't like in Memphis. Like everybody out for herself. So I was trying to where I come from. Like I was trying to get beats, trying to get stuff. I ain't nobody give me beats. I couldn't afford no beats. So I went like Christmas. I went asking for normal stuff. I was getting a beat machine. I started out like trying to do beats. Then I was selling them. I would go in different hoods trying to sell them. And then I was taking that money and using it for studio time. So because I wanted to be an artist, but that's how I did it. And I put my first little mixtape in the streets and trying to just move around and trying to get a set. But I had a different sound, so just to see how that come from all that to now is it's surreal.
Where you grew up, it's a very vital part of who you are. It shapes you into the person you become and the ways that you think.
Yeah,
What's one of the most important things that you learned in your childhood that's carried over to today?
stay true to yourself. Like really don't let nobody get you out of your element. That's one of the one things I realized. Because like as a child, like growing up, like man, when I started to keep going, I'm taking, took a lot of L's trying to do this, trying to do the stuff I was doing, even in the midst because I was hooping. You know what I'm saying? I was a basketball player, so going through all that and then just tapping with the music industry and seeing what's popping, you can really lose yourself. So I was like, man, it's really staying true to self. You know what I'm saying? And don't kind of get caught up in nothing else outside of that can make you go outside of yourself.
Do you feel like there was a time where you lost yourself?
For sure, because when you have so many, you going out to your dream and you have some dream, then something don't work out the way you think it's gonna work out, something like that. You really get distracted, and you can kind of go into a place you don't need to be, a dark place you need to be. So that's why you kind of got to have balance. It's about people you got around you. You know what I mean? You got to have good people around you. Surround yourself with good energy. So because yeah, you can definitely lose it like that.
Honestly, the most important thing is having that solid team, having that team that, like you said, is spreading that positive energy, because once you lose that, you start to put yourself in a bad place. It's like that song, Living Single by Big Sean, right? And it's not specifically about that. It's not specifically about your mindset being in the correct place for success or for business, but he talks about a relationship where he says, good girl, bad time, right place, wrong mind, got my mind right, hit her back, wrong line. When you're not ready to accept your blessings, when you're not ready to accept the opportunities that are coming your way, you start to fumble them, and there's really no way to get that back, right? Because even Big Sean, wrong line. The call went straight to voicemail. I don't get another chance with her. I don't get another chance with success. So you really got to stay on that path and make sure you have the right people around you. That way, you're able to accept those blessings and those opportunities at the right time.
That's right.
You've been able to build your success. Like I said, recently you just had that big song with Project Pat, hit 3 million views with Real. Man. And you've surrounded yourself with a good camp recently, man. So I took three specific people that I want you to touch on and how their relationship has helped you grow both professionally and personally.
Okay.
Because I thought you had signed to Juicy J. Thank you, process. The first one is Juicy J.
He was, I'd probably say, the second like industry feature, I had. And that's how I met Pat, you know what I'm saying? Cause in working, facilitating, a record with Juice, I end up, tapping in with his manager, and actually with him and Pat being brothers, they had the same manager, my homie Ray. So it ended up connecting the dots, and down the line, I ended up getting to work with Pat, and so they just man, real, as real as it gets, man, real family, real thorough, real straightforward, and they really look out for you, and they want to see the win. They want to see new artists be successful, and they really supportive of that.
What do you feel like's a lesson you learned from them and how they help you grow?
Pat like my uncle now, now. So I mean, we talk, every other day, So really helping me stay connected with God. We don't even talk about music, to be honest. Like, so it's like really helping me stay really connected with God, and um, just not really being in the mindset of just being a rap. Don't be a rapper, like be more than that, And really just always telling me, what to do, what not to do, what to look out for in the industry, what not to look out for. Just giving me those little gems and telling me things that he might see that I might do that I need to run with and tap into. So just help me become a better artist, and then also give me the advice to become a better man.
Why do you feel like that relationship was so important for you to establish?
When you're working with somebody like that, especially a legend like that, I wanted to pick up because he's so successful and so great, and how you able to sustain that so long. I wanted to know and learn, what I mean? And then in the midst of that, like I said, it just they 100, and us being from the same city, being from Memphis, even North Memphis, I'm South Memphis, so we just understand, we understand the mindset, understand each other, just like family. 'Cause Memphis so small, it's like you feel like everybody your family member. You know what I mean? So that's really what it was, and that was just so important and vital because I wanted to learn from a legend, because I grew up, listening to Pat. So I never thought in a million years that we'd, be fam, like this. So
It's honestly like crazy when you establish those relationships. Those ones that you never think you're really gonna make. For me, I feel like I've created a lot of those in this city, especially like, Process was here for one, right? D-Lo. That was an interview that I was 14 years old listening to fucking D-Lo shuffle. And then, fast forward 8 years later, I'm having one of the deepest conversations he's probably had in a long time and was able to put it out into the world.
that's dope.
So when you establish those relationships, it's really like a surreal moment like, "Damn,
Yeah,
I can't believe I did this," right?
yeah, it is. Yeah.
And for you, just like you said, you're able to learn from him not only how to be an artist, but how to be a better man. What's one of those lessons that you took away from him?
The biggest thing I would say is just stay close to God. Like don't let none of the negativity, because you're gonna run into like ups and downs, hurdles in this business. So, but don't let none of that, what I'm saying, derail your faith. Like, stay true to your faith, and that's the biggest lesson. You know what I mean? Because when you you're going through certain things and stuff like that, what I'm saying? Like, your faith get tested on, all the time. So, that's the biggest thing you always tell me, what I'm saying? And make sure I keep my family close, make sure, don't be listening to outside people that really ain't for you, keep your family close.
What role has faith played in your life?
Every time something good happen, or anytime something, it can be good or bad, anything, I'm always leaning on that to know that, what I'm saying, there's always something even better coming. Even when it's happening to somebody that's in my team, or something good happen, because that's the number one thing for me, is like, man, I tell everybody, we gotta have faith. Like we know where we going. So, what I'm saying, trust the process, and we gotta have faith. Don't lean on that. You know what I mean? Lean on that. It might seem like it's hard, but don't matter. Lean on that.
Especially for you, right? Growing up, the situations you've come from. You had to continuously move around just so you could, establish yourself in a home, so to say. In one of your previous interviews, you mentioned how you had to move out of Tennessee because there wasn't enough room for you and your family anymore.
I wanted to create better for them. You know what I'm saying? But man, got caught up in some street stuff down there that, my partners, they really was like, man, you can't, you don't need to be doing it. You need to, I ended up getting myself in a situation, getting robbed, just moving too much. So they were like, man, you need to focus on your career, so which is technically the same, creating a better space for my family, because that's I wanted to do, that's basically what my ultimate goal was, and, that's what I ended up doing. So it ended up working out like that.
So we mentioned Juicy J and Project Pat. Finally, I wanted to mention, the architect of this all, your boy Andre Williams. He's here in the room today. Go ahead and talk about how he's helped you grow both professionally and personally.
Or just being 100 from jump from the time we met. Just taking out the time to kind of really outline everything I have going on and knowing who he is in his industry and the respect. It was just it was big time. It was an honor. Just because I know his history and just take our time to see what I had going on and then seeing where he could come in at and take things to the next level, and not want nothing for it. Just like, man, hey, I'm all for you. I want to see you win, and it don't get no realer than that.
You gotta list some of his accomplishments, right? You gotta let the people know who he is. He's got plaques with Future, Rihanna. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure they won a Grammy off the one of the projects he did with Rihanna,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Shit, give him his flowers for real,
Oh, yeah,
so that
yeah,
way the
no, no.
people, the viewers know.
Nah, 1,000.
But really, I need the story, bro. I need the story of how you guys even met, how you guys got started, because we hit right here, right? We hit the point where, all right, you guys met, you guys are doing work together, but we don't even know the background on that.
Nah, I was actually on tour with the homie Ace Hood. My homie Ace Hood. We was on tour, and a mutual friend that pretty much you know helped put the tour together. She her name is Crystal. She pretty much connected the dots with that. She told me about Dre, and she was like, "Man, you need to work with Dre. Like I think he'll rock with you." And she said, I believe on my understanding, she sent him my my music and everything, and he rocked with it. And then from there, we knew we could connect. And then we had the last stop in Atlanta. The last show was in Atlanta, and we ended up there. He came up, pulled up to the show, which is real because. I'd asked, I was like, man, come to the shows and that. He pulled up there. I said 100, man, being who he is, you know what I'm saying? So he came through. And from there, we already knew we was going to, do some business, especially when he showed up. And the biggest thing I wanted him, I wanted to make sure he saw me perform. Because one thing to hear the music, but actually come to a show and get to see, see me in my element, my favorite element outside of being in the studio. So I wanted to see that, you know what I'm saying? And from there, once that was done, man, it was on up from there.
Shit, man. Well, it seems like you put yourself in a lot of positions to succeed.
Yes, sir.
It takes me back to, another song by August Alsina, Rich, where he says, "Am I wrong for wanting better? Should I just settle forever? Oh, I swear it feels like this is as good as it gets." You've done that, right? You've been able to push yourself to reach new heights. Every year it's something new, every year it's something better. But when you're pushing so hard, you start to forget about everything else in your life. You forget about the priorities back home. You forget about your family. Recently, unfortunately, you just had a recent tragedy, right? Sorry to hear about that loss. I don't want to put too much information out there, right?
Nah, I appreciate it. Yeah.
But you start to move so far away from the reality of home, the reality of family. And something you mentioned to me is I'm going to push myself so hard in my career where I don't really know what my future is going to look like as far as a family. Am I missing opportunities to have that family, to have something else aside from music?
Good recall, man. Yeah, that's right.
Why do you feel like this thought has remained so prevalent?
I would say because how devoted I am, to the craft, to the artistry, like the sacrifices, and how far I'm willing to go with it. I know me, like I know what I get. Like I'm in the studio 7 in the morning to 7 the next day. I'm in there all like I'm devoted to that. So and I don't care about all the. I care about I care about the music so much, and I'm willing to go so hard for it to where I can look up and then, like I said, when I think about okay, when one day when you gotta do settle down and you gotta put yourself in perspective of life and knowing what you got around you. I want to look, you can look up and have all the accomplishments with come from music, but I always want to be like, man, am I gonna push myself so much to where I look up and I don't have I don't have kids, I don't have this, I don't have that, you know what I'm saying, because of the fact that what I'm just so devoted to being, great. That's my whole thing. I just want to be the best Trub I can be. So, and I go to the ends of the world for it. So that's just how my mindset is. So, because I'm a student of the game. I watch everything, so I know what's up. I'm always watching the people. I'm always, and I'm talking to my producer all the time. We always in it. So I'm so devoted in that to where I look up and I be like, dang, I gotta make sure I create lifetime.
What do you fear you'll be missing most?
Possibility of having a family. I would say that could possibly happen. You know what I'm saying? That's a possibility. I ain't gonna say that gonna happen, but something like that can happen when you as devoted as I am. So
I mean, I understand you because, even doing this, I'm only 23, but I don't see that. I don't see anywhere on the horizon of there's a family, there's any commitment outside of my career. Because when you're so devoted and you love something so much, it's not fair to take away from other people. And that's what happens, right? There's this time factor that everybody needs, whether it's a kid, whether it's a significant other, whether it's, a friend. Everybody needs a certain amount of time dedicated to them. And when you're not able to give that to them, it's almost selfish to have somebody on the line like, hey, eventually I'll be able to do it, but I need to go as far as I can with this career before I make any other commitments. Do you feel like if you don't have this, it'll be something you regret?
yeah, I believe so. Honestly, I think when it's all said and done, and I ain't gonna be no rapper forever. You know what I'm saying? So I think when it's all said and done, it's something I can regret. But like I said, I'm not gonna count it out. But I know it's something that I could regret. One day for sure. But um, I'm a long if I could look back and I have peace of mind that I gave all that I had to give, and I could look around and see my team and my family successful or if not more successful than me, that's that's all I want. That's the biggest thing for me.
What point do you feel like you'd have to reach to be content with the way your career turned out?
When I can look around and see everybody around me doing great, and they ain't got nothing to worry, got generational wealth. Um, they ain't got they happy, they taking care of their families and their kids and everything. When I can look around and see that, and I know I'm good because if I'm like that, I know they're gonna be like that because everything. But when I can look up, I see like everybody like that, then that's when I'm good.
What really does that look like, right? Because good for a lot of people, it can mean a bunch of different things, right? It could mean I have designer clothes. It could mean I have a fancy car. It could mean that everybody's fed.
Them having land properties, having um, their mothers, kids that set up with stuff that they want to do that could build their futures. You know, being able to just do what they want to do with the drop of a dime, and if they want to invest into something, whether it's a Fortune 500 company, they can do this, they can do that. Just having a freedom financially to be able to do what they want to do without any questions. Now that is what that is to me. You know what I mean? And then is the biggest thing outside of that is my happiness, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to see smiles. I want to see more smiles. I want to see good energy. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing. Like, man, I'm good. You said I'm good. We on a yacht, or they like, man, my mama wants this new thing, or that, and they can just do it, and it's smiling, and it's just good energy. That do it all for me. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't gonna leave this world with the materialistic thing, but as long as I can know that, hey man, you good, you happy, you know what I'm saying? Like, we doing this together, we family. Hey, that's it, man. That's all I want to see.
It seems like you're doing this for everybody else but yourself at this point. Say you didn't have the kids, say you didn't have the wife, not wishing that on you. Say everybody's taken care of. There's still this feeling inside that you gotta feel. There's still something inside of you that has to be content. Because for me personally, right, you see the richest people in the world. They can give their family every single thing they have, but their child still probably has some attachment issues because their parent wasn't around to give them that emotional or mental support they needed. So there's always gonna be an issue. So say everybody gets everything they want. What do you feel like is gonna make you content with the music?
When I can look up and feel in my heart that I've given everything that I have on my heart, like in terms of artistry, from my stories, my life, my experiences, everything that I went through. When I can look and I can say, I did that. This is my library. Of course, every album is like a book. So I'm like, when I can look up and I can look in the library and I can say, hey, I covered. I did this. My I left my foundation here. So if anything happened to me, this right here is my library. You know what I'm saying? When I can look and I can say that, you know what I mean, then that's when I know I'm good because I live this, I breathe this. Like, it's always stuff that always inspires me and stuff like that. And I know I'm always gonna have that because that's just in my DNA. But I know that one day, because it's times I experience it, now. I ride in the car and I listen. It's like when I listen to a project, like my project is getting ready to release, which is 4 courses. When I'm riding, I'm listening to it, and I'm like, and when I know it's done, and I'm like, I did that. I know it's done now. I might be like, I did like 70, 80 songs, almost 100 songs for it. But I'm sitting there and I pick out the best 20, and I'm like, and I sit and I'm riding, and best 22, and I'm riding, I'm listening, I'm like, okay, now I know it's done. I did it. I can listen to the other 80, 60 songs, 60, 70 songs, and I can listen to them like, yeah, we did that. That's it. So when I can one day look up and I could be 60 something years old, whatever, and I look at the library and I'm like, yeah, it did that.
And I think knowing your life stories are out there, knowing that somebody will know who you were to the deepest level that you allowed them to, because everybody takes certain secrets to the grave. But when you're able to have somebody look back on your life and almost they fall in love with who you were through just music.
That's right.
They fall in love with who you were just through the stories you were able to tell, and not because they personally knew you, but they got as close to you as possible. So when I think of that, like that's the rawest thing for me when I'm able to release all these episodes, right? Because God forbid something happens. I have 108 episodes out there that detail who I was, that let people know, like, hey, this guy really dove deep into not only himself, but understanding the next person that was sitting here talking to him.
That's it.
For you in a previous interview, you say, music is in my heart. It's my peace of mind. It's my getaway when I feel anxiety or just upset about life in general. Music is that one thing that I can put that pain and also put that joy into. And that's what drives my passion for it. It's home for me. What do you feel like's the most important story you've been able to tell in music that you were never able to tell to somebody personally?
Opening up about the anxiety. That's why I'm really more excited about this project I'm getting released. By finally opening up about it because I ain't never want to talk about it. I don't tell, my about what I did with my demon. You know what I mean? So to address that the way I did it and in this, that was gonna be the deepest thing. I really think it's gonna help, people that, that hear it, that, especially that follow me and listen to me and any future fan or anybody that's going through stuff, especially the way I address, certain messages on there, opening up about it personally, like, I'm dealing with it, and this is how I deal with it. Like that right there is like that's probably the deepest thing because that's my biggest demon.
What do you feel like instilled this anxiety in you? Where did it come from?
It's probably always been there, but man, boy, I I don't know if I told on it, but I was in LA, man, and man, I did some angel dust. And man, ever since then, it kind of like, I went, I was tripping out, I was bugging out, and I had had a real bad panic attack and everything, and then this bad panic attack up there. It's crazy. And after that, I went to the doctor because I'm sitting there. I remember I was sitting in the movie theater watching Incredible Hulk on a date. Couldn't believe it did. Sitting there, and I'm looking Hulk fighting, and next thing I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I'm about to lose it. The dust is back. So, so, so,
He
so
did the Smokey
yeah,
from
yeah,
Friday.
yeah. It was man. I'm talking about all that. And when you're doing that, your body go numb. So I was pouring water on myself. I couldn't feel it. So I'm like, hey man, I gotta go to the hospital. And the person I was hanging with, he was a rapper. So I'm like, bro, you gonna give me this, bro? You trying to kill me? What you think I'm a better rapper than you or something? Like you trying to kill me because I'm a better rapper than you? So I'm freaking out, man. And I knew something was wrong then. And man, but after that, I went to the doctor after I ran out the movie theater. Like I can't see the Hulk. I ran out the movie theater. I own the girl. She's sitting in there. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, man, I'm sitting there by the popcorn. I'm like, I'm losing it, man. I'm losing it. So, and I went to the doctor and they told me, that I had a serious case of anxiety from my experience. But I don't know what. I guess whatever happened with that whole experience, man. I just started having real bad anxiety, and the smallest stuff started getting to me. You know what I'm saying? Even like this, it's kind of like it could be something that could bother me, that could trigger something, and then it started turning to like stress and headaches for me and all that stuff. But whatever happened then, man, I remember I just went back to the studio probably like 2 weeks after that, and man, I became a monster. I don't know whether my mind opened up or something, but I just know I became a monster. You know, in terms of like my ability and stuff I was tapping into as an artist, like knowing how to like rap, chopping and rapping fast. It was always in me, but after that, being in LA, like I was down there because that's all I was doing. I was just recording every day. Like that's a lot of people don't know about me. Like some folks be, especially fans out here, they be like, man, you can do this, do that, but they don't know how much I recorded. Like I slept on the floor. I recorded every day. I woke up. I ate Burger King every day until I got gout. You know what I'm saying? Like I was recording every day, so I just really became a monster after that, like because of that. But it's a yin and a yang, it's a gift and a curse because the anxiety that I got that came from that, you know what I'm saying, is man horrible, terrible, man, terrible, terrible. I went through all this stuff to go through it, everything, all this suicide stuff, man. I did all that 100 times over.
I think when you understand yourself to that level, understanding that emotional distress that you face on the daily, it allows you to be more communicative. I didn't understand myself really until I started doing this. And being able to express myself to others and being able to sit down and have these conversations, I felt like that was the most important thing. Why do you feel like it's so important to talk about your mental health now?
Just seeing how, especially after COVID, man, seeing how it's affected people and affecting the world, and then I see like a lot of fans, fans of mine, I be talking about, oh, I'm dealing with, I deal with that, I deal with that. So I be like, when I see stuff like that, and then I see like even my family members go through it, like, what I'm saying, that's one of the things me and my brother connect on, what I'm saying, my producer, so it's kind of like, dang, when I see how serious it is, and then I see how bad it affects me and my family. What I'm saying, I'll be like, it's time. I know it's time. And then because I know you never know. When you able to people that listen to you and rock with you, when you able to let them know, hey, I'm here. I go through it too. I'm human too. I ain't Superman. I'm I'm dealing with too. You can save somebody's life like that.
Last few things, right? Talk about the album. What should we expect from the album? What does it look like? What was the biggest inspiration for it?
I'm gonna say this, man. Shout out my brother Marcus Brandon, man. Like I said, with COVID, um, man, I was sitting there. We had just actually we was actually about to drop a project, and when COVID hit, we had just left the radio station and got shut down. So he was like, man, we ought to do a project, and then we came over 4 courses. But honestly, for me, it's the best work I've done as of today. Just super excited, man. It's very universal. It's so fun, man. It's just so enjoyable to listen to. It's the most homework that I would say, man, that I've ever done as an artist. Listening to each market, going from every state. Saying we always try to see what everybody's on. Because what people in Utah on, what people here was, what people here on, what people here, we paying attention to everything, and making sure I don't miss a beat and always kind of just making sure it keep evolving. I've been working on it for about we've been on about 2.5 years now, so I just wanted to make sure, and I wanted to make something that was undeniable because I knew that this was gonna be a transcending project for me. I know that my life ain't gonna never be the same, and anybody around me life ain't gonna be the same because of the type of work I put in on it. I was like, this gonna be one of my ones. This gonna be that classic for me that I know. So, and that's what that's what I made it. Just made it out to be, and I put the best pen game. I made sure I didn't leave nothing on the table. I went hard. You know, everything that people love that I do, I did it. You know what I mean? So, and also too from singing to rap, everything I did, I wanted to make sure I captured it all and I didn't miss a beat. And then we got the right personnel on there in terms of just with my producers connecting with my producer and him going over the sounds and going over everything and even from the features. So it's an exciting project. I can't wait.
I'm stuck on the fact that my boy chose Utah out of all places. He said,
Yeah,
"Hey,
yeah, yeah.
Utah."
People don't think about that. Don't think on places like that. You don't know. You know what I'm saying?
What do you feel like is the most important story you told on the album?
It's this record called Me Time, man. Produced by Marcus Brandon, man. That's that record there. I would say that's my most important story for sure, no question, because it's about um, anxiety, and I'm talking to this, I'm talking to this girl, and uh, I'm telling her, exactly, what I'm dealing with. You don't know how bad anxiety on me. You worry about this, but I just need my space. I need that me time. you know, why you messing my high up? You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't got, you know, I need some space right now. You know what I'm saying? Let me deal with this. You know, let me get rid of this. That is my most personal record because I'm never. It's just the whole vibe of it, the way it is, and you know, shout out to Nima, man. She, you know, the singer, so she, you know, we kind of duetted the hook together, so it just worked out. And Mark's laid the foundation for us, so it was just, it's a real personal record for me. I believe that's like my most personal record on there.
When should we expect it out, man?
I'm looking at July.
July?
Yeah. If not before, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I always want to make sure I got the, you know, got my ducks in a row.
Nah, July,
Honestly,
bro.
because I got,
You can't
yeah,
surprise drop it on us. We need the
yeah.
rollout. We need the whole fancy. We need the whole
We're gonna
tour,
make
bro.
sure. I just shot like 2 more videos for it, and I'm shooting another one. So I want to drop a couple more videos for it before I do it, and then we're gonna drop it, and everybody have enjoy it over the summertime and have a good time.
Shit, I'm gonna need to hear that me time after we shut down this
Yeah,
interview. But shit, bro,
yeah.
I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate everybody that's in the room, and man, I'm glad we were able to reschedule this, man.
Glad to be here, man. Definitely a fan of the show, man, and man, I'm grateful. You know, this is dope.
That's gonna be all, guys. Make sure you go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you go ahead, check out Trub. He's got his new song out, Real, with Project Pat. What's the official count, bro?
Man, I looked up yesterday, it was 3.2 million. So we, you know, just to do that in a month, man, you know, I can't, I love the fans, man. Hey, you know, love them. I can't thank them enough, man. You know, everybody, me and Pat just, you know, we super excited, man, just to see it evolve like that. We knew it'd been building up, you know, because every video we've dropped since I've dropped for 4 courses has been doing over, you know, million plus, you know, just to see them enjoying this, you know, collaboration on this level at this time is amazing.
Y'all killing it, bro.
Yeah.
Keep
Thank you,
doing
man.
your thing, man.
Thank you, man.
Sad Boys for real. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
Broken pieces, who's to blame?